My goal for this course is I want to teach you how to build a simple store and keep things easy since you're a beginner. So I want to make sure that I'm taking you through step by step. But we're going to use two methods. The first method that I'm going to show you is how to use a template. A template is a website that's already been built. It's already been designed. It has the images, the files, and everything that's needed. All that you have to do is just to edit it. Now, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step how to download the template, how to review it, how to install it, and how to customize it. So for this course, we're going to be using a template from Joomla called Allura. So make sure that you go on their website and download that template if you want to follow along. So you go to joomla.com, and at the very bottom of the page, you can click where it says templates. Here you can be able to filter through the type of template that you want to use. Now, templates are great because they're pre-made. They have the bells and the whistles that you need in order for you to get your store up and going a lot faster. When you design your store from scratch, you would have to, put in the information, you have to put in the products and all those things. But with a ready-made template, you can just tweak that. So let's take a look at some of the options that we have here for a template. So let's say that you want to get your store up and going and you want to do it fast. Templates are the best and the fastest way to do that. So let's take a look at some of the e-commerce options that they have. So these are just some of the designs that you can choose from to get your online store up and going. So you scroll through here. You can click to get more details about each one. And there's no right or wrong way to choose one. It's all about what you want to present. So the demo one that they have right now. So let's take a look at, for example, the details for this. And you get a preview here. So you can preview this to see if you like how it looks and just see some of the features that come with it in terms of the layout, the optimization, how everything works. So I'm going to go through here. I like how this looks. So let's say that I wanted to preview this. I'm going to click on preview. This is going to allow me to preview this template to see if it has the look or the style that I want to go for. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of, play around with it to see how it looks. And let's say I wanted to see this here. I'm going to click on this product. So, okay, so I'm looking at this now and I like how the overall looks. It's simple, it's clean, and it looks professionally done. I can choose the different options. Now, this is really great because if you don't want to do all this work, instead of having to build this from scratch, you can just select this template and then you can edit every part of this. But before you do that, I recommend that you go through to see the style that you're looking for, something that fits your business. So let's say I'm going with this one and I like how this looks. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to have to do now is, let me just check it out some more. So take your time to check out the template because this is exactly what your store is going to look like. So I'm just going through now. The product type, see there's men, unisex, women. Again, I'm going to show you how to add more or to delete what you don't need from the template. So I can choose this, I can choose colors. So far, I'm going to check everything out. I click around to add, to remove, to see how it looks when you add stuff to the cart. So I've added this to the cart. Let me add this to the cart. And I want to see how it looks. So let me go to visit cart. And then I want to go to proceed to checkout or continue shopping. So again, these are just some of the ways and the things that you do before you purchase anything. So I'm going to click on the cart right here. So far, I like how this looks. And I want to use it to build my online store. So what we're going to take a look at next is we're going to download this template. And then I'm going to walk you through step by step so you can know where to edit, how to edit it, and how to replace everything you see here with your own photos, with the prices. You can change the colors. You can change the background. You can add callouts like these and so many other things. In a previous lesson, we talked about using templates to build your websites. They're a lot faster, has all the bells and whistles that you need. All that you would have to do is just to customize. For example, if you wanted to change this picture, if you wanted to change the text and anything else that you see on here. So we're going to use this one and customize it. To do so, you go to joomshaper.com. Once you've already purchased the packaging, then you want to click on download. When you click on download, it's going to give us download options. If you don't know how to get to this page, you can, once you're logged into your account, you can also go to downloads. And then from there, you're going to see the option for templates or extension. And you want to find this particular template. So you click on download. When you click on download, you get three options here. You have the quick start package, you have the template, and you have the template settings. The template settings are for you to use if you already have an existing site, but you want to use the settings from this template to incorporate it into your site. You can do that, or you can download just the template. But for this, we're going to download the quick start. So you quick to download it. I've already done that. By downloading it, this is going to give you everything that you see on this design. And then from there, you can be able to get started to customize it. So once you've downloaded it, then you want to go to the back end of your control panel to install it. So let's do that now. To install the template you just downloaded from Joomshaper, you'd have to log into your control panel. Even if it doesn't look like this, it's okay. Now I cover this at the start of the lesson. So you want to be able to upload it and you want to create a database. So the first thing that we want to do is let's create a database. So from your control panel, you want to go to where it says MySQL database. If you don't know where this is, based on how your back end looks, you can also use the search tools or contact your web hosting company and ask them where this is located if you can't find it. But generally speaking, you should be able to, find it easily. So now I want to go to my SQL databases, and then we're going to create a database. So I'm just going to call this one Easy Store. Okay, that's the new database. I'm going to click on Create Database. The database has been successfully added. Go to back. Once you've created a database, now you need to create a user. So I usually use the same name, or you can, use a different name, but I'm going to call this one Easy Store. And then of course you can put the database password. But you want to make sure that whatever password that you choose, that the strength here is really high. And this is because this is sensitive information that you don't want just anyone to be able to get access to it. So what I've done is I've just set up this password generator. So when I click on space here, right, the system is going to generate a strong password for me. Again, you don't have to use the system generated password. You can always use your own. But for this sake, I'm just going to use this system generated password, and then I'm going to put that I've copied it, and then I'm going to say use password. Now I want to save that password somewhere else, right? Or if I choose not to, I can also just come in and I'm going to put in my own password. Okay, so now I've chosen a different password from what the system wanted. I'm going to click on Create User. It's asking me, do I want to update it? So I'm going to click on Not Now. So I've created the database user. So let's go back. Once you've created the database and the user, the next thing that you need to do is you want to connect, you want to add the user to the database. So if you have a brand new back end that you don't have any databases, yours should look something like this, okay? But if you have a whole lot, then it's not going to look anything like this. But in my case, I have the username that I created, which is the easy store, and I also have the database, which is the easy store. What you want to do now is you want to click on add. So I'm going to add this user to this database. Now I don't want to get too technical as to why this matters, but just do it this way. So you click on all privileges and then you click on make changes. Now you want to make sure that you keep the database name and the password, because we're going to need that later on to be able to connect everything. So now let's go over to back to the C panel, and you want to click on to where it says File Manager. Once you click on the File Manager, you want to locate public_HTML. And then from here, you want to click on a new folder. So I'm going to call this Easy Store 2 because I already have an Easy Store created. And then I want to click on Create New Folder. But again, you can call this any name that you want. So I'm going to click on Create New Folder. Once I've done so, I want to locate the Easy Store folder I just created. And I'm going to come here where it says Upload. So click Upload. Now you can drag and drop the template that you downloaded from Joomla, or you can click to Select File. So I'm going to click on Select File to choose that template. So this is the template, the Allura, and I'm going to click Upload. So it has about 74 or 75 megabytes. Give it a few seconds to be able to install everything. Once the upload is complete, you're going to get this message, this green bar, 100%. So now you're done, and you want to go back to your control panel or the file manager, and you want to click to reload. So this is going to reload everything for you, okay? And then you want to click on this Allure, and then you want to right click, and then you want to extract, and then it's going to show you the location where it's going to extract it to, which is okay. Then you want to click on extract files. Once you've successfully extracted the files, you're going to get this result. Just click on close. So now all the files that are part of that makes this particular template here is on your server, but we need to connect everything. So let's go back now, and we're going to go to the location, which is the Easy Store 2. So we need to go to the front end of your website and connect everything. So go to the front end of your website, and I'm going to find this here, and I'm just going to delete this stuff here because I don't need this, and I'm going to call this /Easy Store 2, enter. Now it's going to walk you through the installation process. So I'm going to call this one Easy Store Joomla. And then it's going to ask me to set up the login details. Click on set up login data. And then this is where you can put in the name for the admin. I'm just going to put in my name. You can put in the username. Same thing, or I can just leave it at admin, whatever you want it to be. You can change that later on. Then I can change the password. I'm going to choose my own password. So if I put a password that doesn't meet the requirements, you notice here it's going to say the password doesn't meet the requirements. You need at least 12 characters. So I'm going to change that. So now it's saying password accepted because it met the minimum of 12 characters. And then I'm going to put in the email, whatever email that you want to put. Next, we're going to set up the database and connect everything. So you want to click on set up database connection. Now you want to make sure that you remember these details here, okay? The login for the password you use here, you're going to need that password to log into the admin. So make sure you write that down somewhere, you save that password somewhere. So let's connect the database. Okay, it's saying select database type, leave it at MySQLite, don't change anything. The host, leave that to localhost. Now enter username created. So this is where you want to go to the back end of your site. So I want to go to my databases, and you want to find this is easy store. So the database name, you have this column here. Let me see. So this is the database name. We use the same thing. We use easy store. So we're gonna copy just copy this whole thing. Your name is going to be different from mine here just because it's a different server. So I'm gonna come here. This is the, and then I'm gonna put in the password that I use. And you don't want to change the database name right here. No, I'm sorry. Well, with this one here, you want to change this here. So let's change this database name because we use the same user and the same database. Once you've done that for the prefix, you can just leave this as it is. Don't worry about changing that. So make sure that all the details, the database and the username and the password has been put in correctly. Next, what you want to do is don't change this where it says encryption, default. Don't worry about this right now, okay? Next, you want to go to install Joomla. So once you've successfully installed it, you're going to get a message that says congratulations. Now you can add other languages, but for this I'm not going to do that. English is set as the default. So there are two options you have. You can either open the site or you can go straight to the admin. So let's first take a look at the site, okay? So we can see what it looks like. When you open the site, it should look exactly like the demo. So let's go over to the demo. So this is the actual demo site from Joomshaper's website, and this is what we just installed. So as you can see, it's the exact replica of the site. Now what we want to do is we want to be able to go through here and make the necessary changes. Let's say that you want to change the text, you want to change the image, you want to change the pricing. I'm going to do a breakdown for you so that you can go and make the necessary changes. Again, this is the fastest way for you to build your website, because it already has, all the different things designed into it, as to where if you wanted to build from scratch, you would have to redesign and, put the background and all those things. So now we're going to take a look at the back end of this template. Once you've successfully installed the Easy Store demo template that we downloaded, you can log in to the back end of your Joomla website. Your dashboard should look something like this. So you have your updates available. You don't want to update anything just yet. So let's go to Components, go to Easy Store, and let's click on the dashboard. And then from the dashboard, it's going to show you your store at a glance, what needs to be done, what's not completed yet, payment method, set up shipping, manage. Now let's go over the products so you can see what products are on the front end. This is the actual site. So all the products that you see on here, this is what is on the back end, and we're going to take a look at how to edit those. So you can scroll through and you have the pricing. It has the stock level, the inventory status. You can click on any one of these to see what it looks like. So let's click on the first one. And then from here, it's just, you can put in the description. You can change. These are all the images that you can add more, or you can change these. Now, if you notice here, it's saying that unable to find a user with ID. Don't worry about this. All this is saying is that the user that created this, since we downloaded from another website, the user is not on this particular site, but you can always change that though. So created by, I'm going to click on here, and then I'm just going to choose the admin. So the ID is different because it's a different installation, it's a different site, so I'm going to choose that. But that's not a big deal though. So you can scroll through. This is the name for it. This is the alias. The alias is just the name that people can type in the browser, and it's also good for search engines. And if you wanted to add tags, I'm going to go over tags later on. The weight is in kilograms. I showed you in the previous video how you change this from kilograms to pounds. And then you can make this, if you wanted to make this access to just, let's say you have a subscription, right? And the only time that people can get access to this is with a subscription, then you can change that to register. But for now, just leave it, at public. And this is where the price is. If you want to add a discounted price, you can put this here, and then you can put that discounted price that you want to add. If you want to add any other options, we're going to take a look at products that have other options. You click options and you can add the size, the color, and all those things. But we're going to take a look at products that actually do have those options, have other data. So we've made these changes now, and let me just come back and then we can just click on save and close. So now we've made changes to that. We didn't change anything like the pricing yet. And then this are all the categories. So I'm doing this because when you download a template, you want to go through it, to see what adjustments that you need to make. You want to go through it to see what would you want to keep and what would you like to edit or would you like to delete. So now let's go to categories. The beautiful thing about this is you can have as many major categories and subcategories or subfolders as you want. So this one, it has men, and then you have denim, you have categories here. So you can have unlimited amount. If you have a store that has, let's say 500 products, you can use this. If you have a store that has just one product, you can utilize it as well. Now let's go over to tags. There are no tags. So when I click on create a new tag, tags are just like, social media sites where people can be able to find a specific item. So you can create tags for your site. So if you want to create a tag, let's say denim, I'm just going to create a tag here called denim. Denim for men, okay? And I'm not worried so much about the alias for now. And I can choose the user, which is the admin. As far as the create date and all this, just don't worry about that for now. So click save and publish. Okay, so now we have a tag called denim for men. We can go to the orders. You can create a new order, right? Let's say that someone calls you or they emailed you and that they want you to add an order for them. Well, you can just go through your store and just choose the product that they want. This is good because sometimes if you have a company that you have salespeople that you get phone calls to come in, you can add all the pricing, all the details here, and then the sales person can just take the order over the phone and they can add it on the back end. We're going to cover that in a moment. And then you have here your coupons. Now coupons are great because it allows for people to get discounts. You can create as many coupons as you need to. We'll take a look at the coupons later on, but here's when I was created. It's called Big Discount. You can choose the percentage. You can choose the time frame. You can choose the value. You can choose a start or an end date. So if you wanted for this to start at a certain date, you can choose this, the end date to start on this date, and then you can choose the end date for that particular coupon. And you just give people the name and they can be able to enter it in order to get, to get that. So next, let's take a look at the reviews. With your website, people can leave a review for the product. Okay, once they do, this is what you're going to see. If there's something that you think you wanted to adjust or you just wanted to delete it, then you can delete any review on the site, and it's also going to show you the product that review is on and then the rating that they gave. So you can choose to, to delete it, modify, or whatever you want to do. Next, you want to go to the analytics. With the analytics, you can see the performance of your store. You click on this drop down. It's going to show you a map. You can do the last, 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, last month, or last year. This is a great way for you to get an update to see how your store is doing. And if you needed to print something, you can be able to do that as well. And then you can see your top selling categories, so you know what categories are the best sellers and the top selling items. And it shows you here in a nice way, the total orders you have, any return, any cancellations, your net sales, your gross sales, and it gives you a chart here to be able to see how things are going. And then you have your customers. You can add new customers on the back end, or the customers can add their info when they sign up or when they purchase something on the front end of your store. So you have the ability for both. So sometimes a customer can email you like, hey, here are my details, and you can put all that stuff in here for them as well. So now let's take a look at the front end of the template. As I mentioned before, anytime that you download a template, you want to go through it to make sure that, all the images are loading properly, that it's working exactly like the demo. So I've already checked and everything seems to be good. You check out the call outs. Now what you need to do is you want to go at the template itself. So this is utilizing the Helix framework. So now let's go over to the SP page builder. So you click on this and you go to Easy Store. In this lesson, we want to do a breakdown of this template. I want to keep things very simple for you and not too complicated. So let's say that you want to edit this template for your website. We're going to start to work on from the very top, which is this menu, and then to this hero section, and we're going to go all the way to the bottom. Now, as we go through these, I'm going to show you where to edit them so that you can replace these images with your own, and you can change some of the wordings. If you wanted to add something, remove something, delete a section, we're going to break this entire template from the very top to the very bottom. This is going to give you an idea. So if you decided that you wanted to build something from scratch and you wanted to add more modifications, then you're going to be able to do that. So let's start off first. Now, since we're going to start off with this top section here, we need to go to the back end of Joomla and work on the Helix framework. This template utilizes the Helix framework. So once you're logged into the back end, you want to go over to System. And from System, you want to click where it says Template Styles. You notice that you have two templates here. This is the Joomla default, and this is the Helix, or rather this Allura template. So you want to click on Allura. From here, you have several options. This is the menu assignment. Now, I'm not going to cover the menu assignment for this, but one of the beautiful things about Joomla is that it gives you the ability for you to assign different looks to different pages. So let's go back to the details and want to click on template options. Now, I've already covered this early on, but I want to show you how to apply it to a template like this. And you can be able to move this menu bar anywhere in the screen. Okay, so if it's over here, you can drag it all over the place. So now let's break this down. The goal is we want to focus primarily right now on just this header section and then the menu. Okay, so you click on Basic. If you want to change this logo to replace it with your own, you can either use a text and put in your company's name, company, right? And it's going to utilize that text for it. Now you'd have to make sure that you click save if you want to finalize that. But for now, I don't want to finalize this. I'm just going to leave it as that. Or I'm going to put it back to an image. And I'm going to switch this over to use a logo. So let's go with this Joomla right here. So click on select. And you notice that every few seconds it auto updates to show you what you've done. And if you want to choose a retina logo just for higher resolutions, you can do that. You click select, and you can do the same thing too for a mobile version. Now, you may have to redesign the size based on your logo. So make sure that you do so. This is just an example to show you what's possible. So now we've changed the logo. Okay, now let's say that you wanted to change this heading section. You didn't want to have this sales message right there. So you want to go over to, you scroll down, and by the way, you can add a favicon, right here. So this is what the users are going to see. If you notice right over at the very top, that's what that favicon is. So if you wanted to, let's say, change how the header looks, well, let's go to the header. This gives you the option to choose how you want this section to look. If you like it how it is with that message, you want to keep it that way, that's fine. But if you don't want to keep it that way, you want to explore other options. So let's say that I want to switch it, right? So I'm going to click on this right here. Once I clicked on it, it removes that very top message, and I can check to see what this looks like on different devices to make sure that is how I want it to be. Okay, so next we can choose another option. So this is based on your personal preference. If you like how a particular item look and you want to keep it that way, that's fine. So for now, I'm going to go back to this right here. So I want to leave this to stay that way. I don't want that message showing up at the very top. The next thing that we want to do is we want to see, do you want to, when you click on this sidebar here, this off canvas, you can be able to choose how you want this to lay it out. So to do so, you go over to the menu and you scroll down and you go to where it says off canvas. So when you go to the off canvas, then this is where you can be able to choose what you want to show. So if you didn't want for this social icons to show or for anything else but just the name and the menu to show, then you would just click that and that's going to turn that off. When you click on it again, you're going to notice that you don't have any of the things shown there. And you can even choose what menus that you want to connect to this part. Okay, for now, I'm going to leave the store menu as is. And we're going to take a look at that if you want to change some items. But you do have the option to click quick links and companies, but I haven't gone over that. So let's keep that simple. If you want to change, you can choose the left bordered and you click on it again. It's going to look different. Now it's at the bottom. You can choose the center align. But that's how you can be able to, change the menu. So now let's say that you want to change this from being, instead of being to the left, you want to move it over to the right. So let's do that. You click this drop down and you click right. It's going to move the off canvas menu to the right. Now some people prefer that way, others prefer it to the left. Again, that is all the personal preference. Now let's say that you want to change the menus here. Okay, so we're at the menus. We're going to go back to the very top. We're looking at the menu builder. So you have the menu builder and then you have the mega menu. So for now, let's go back to the menu builder. I'm going to move this over like right here. With the menu builder, you have the option to move things in different positions. So if I wanted to say move this category and I wanted to put it next, past the shop, all that I would have to do is just hold it and I can drag it to wherever I need it to be. Okay, so now when it refreshes, you notice that the shop has moved and the categories has moved as well. If I wanted to edit the menu names, all I would have to do is mouse over and then click on that. And then I can name this, let's say I can call this Women 2, for example, right? And if you wanted to connect these, this is where you would connect them. I'm going to show you later on how to connect the back end to the front end. But if you wanted to change the names, this is how you're going to change the names for it. And then I'm going to click on save. So now we have Women 2. When you go over to look at the categories, it's going to have the Women 2. Or if you want to change any one of these names, that's how you do. You mouse over and then you click to edit and you can make the necessary change to that. So if I wanted to, let's say, change from shop to store, I can just do that as well and then click on save. And as you can see, it's simple to edit the header part, okay? And once you're done with the changes, if you like it and you want to keep it that way, you just click on save. It is going to save that. You can always come back to make any changes that you want with it. And if you wanted to change the hover colors for these, you can do that as well. So let's say that I didn't like this orange or this yellow. I can just choose something else. Once I choose that, you notice that the menu colors are changing. And if you wanted to have a custom style, you can do a custom style for the top bar as well. And it gives you a lot of flexibility for the header. If you wanted to change the background color, let's say this background color right there, you wanted not to have it white, you wanted to have, let's say, I'm just gonna pick random color so you can see how that looks. So now I've changed this section here to the red, and then I can change this back again to any colors that I want. You can do this for branding purposes. Let's say that you want to match a particular color scheme. Well, this gives you everything that you need to do that. And if you wanted to change even the hover color, so right now it's the blue. If you want to change the hover colors for that, then you can do that as well. I'm just going to make that white. The hover text, when it's active, I'm going to make that white as well. So you give it a few seconds to update, and now you have that white. So this gives you so much room to customize this top to your liking. You can change everything that you see on here exactly the way that you want it to be. And then from there, if you're satisfied, then you just make sure you click on save, and then you have exactly what you want to do. And it's important that you understand how menus work, because you're going to be spending some time here to connect the back end of your website to what the general public can see. So there are two ways to do that. Now, I briefly showed you a method on the back end. So let's go back here. The first way to do that is you go to System. From Systems, you go over to Site Template Styles, and then you can click on the Allura, and then you go to Template Options. From here, I'm going to move this over. You can go over to the menu, and this is going to show you all the different menus that you have on there. And you can be able to click to edit. And then from here, you can choose where it says menu item type. So this is just asking you what type of menu do you want this to be. Joomla gives you the flexibility to create different types of menu. Now in this course, I'm not going to go over all the details with all of these here because I want to keep things simple for you. But I want to show you just the key parts of what you need to know to be able to get your site up and going. So where it says menu item type, you click on select. When you click on select, it is going to show you all the different things that you can be able to connect to the back end. In other words, as you're working on the back end of your website, if you want people to see something on the front end, this is where the general public goes to view your website, then you can connect all the information from the back end to the front end. Now, keep in mind that only you as the admin or the site owner have access to this content. So you decide what you want people to be able to see, and that's where menus come in handy. So Easy Store has an accordion menu here that if you want to connect any part of Easy Store to the front end of the website, this is where you're going to do that. So if you want to connect the products and you select products here, you can choose the category that you want to connect to. So these are all the different categories that have already been created on the back end of Easy Store. Now you can add more categories, and I showed you that before, or you can just simply connect to any one of these. So the same thing goes not just for Easy Store, but if there's any part of your website that you want to connect to the front end, then this is how you're going to do it. So if you have contacts, for example, and you want to give people the ability to contact you, then you can use this contact list here or any other parts. Now, when you come to the bottom here, if you want to make a particular page the default page of your website, this is where you can go to click on default page. If you select default page, whatever page that you choose, that is going to be the primary home page of your website. The default page is just pretty much your home page. You can also choose when you can start to publish a particular item or a menu, and you can choose when to finish. So if you're having, let's say, a sale and you want to give people access to a specific part of your website for a period of time, this is where that comes in, and you can do that through the menu system here. So you can choose the start date and the end date. So what's going to happen is that at the start, whatever start date you choose, they're going to be able to see that menu. So for example, if you have the tops, right, all the products and the tops that you have in a special on that you wanted to show for a period of time, you can select that, and then you can choose that you want this to start and finish on a particular date. It's almost like having like a flash sale. So if you have like a flash sale, even though Easy Store gives you the abilities to use coupons to be able to have a sale, but the menu also gives you the ability, if you want, to be able to show items for a period of time. Then the next part that you have the access. Now the access, you have several levels of access. You have the public or the guest. This is where anyone that doesn't have an account on your website, they can access this part. When you go to registered only for those that have an account on your site. Maybe they've purchased something or they've created an account. Now, if you allow people to create an account on your site for free, they can create a registered account. Or if you only want them to have access to your site once they've made a payment, then they can do that. Now, special and user, these are a little more for the site owners. So that gives them access to do anything on the site. So you wouldn't want to give people access to these two, okay? Only those that you trust, because once they have access to these, then they can be able to, edit your site from the back end. They can log in, they can make changes, which is something that you don't want. So the menu system plays an intricate part of your website, because this is where you direct people's attention. Now, if you go over to page titles, then you can have enable page titles. This set to yes. You can put in a page subtitle, the H1, H2. And if you wanted to add a background image, you can do that. Let's see what this looks like on the front end. So let's go to categories here. Matter of fact, let's go to tops. So when you go to tops, you notice that you have this background image, okay? And you can set this so you see the menu. You can upload an image there. So if you didn't want to use this particular image, any other image that you want, you would just have to upload it through this. And the same thing goes too for any other category item. So let's go back here. So let's take the jewelry, for example. You click on the collection, and then you have this. Now, if you want to change this again through the menu system, let's X this out, and let's go to the jewelry. So you click to edit. And then when you go to the page title and you scroll down, you see that you have this same image. Now you'd have to design this, of course, or have the image from somewhere that you have to just upload it. But if you want to change it, this is where you go to change it. Or if you also just want to remove it, you can also remove it and just use a generic background color. For this part, you can also do that as well. So part of what I'm doing with this is I want you to be able to do this. So I'm going to show you where you need to go, what you need to do. It is up to you to make whatever changes that's needed. So let's X that out. So that's how you can be able to add menus on the back end. If you want to add a new menu, you click to add new. And then we're going to call this Easy Store Special. So I'm going to call this Special. And then I can come back here and I can choose what items that I want to connect to. So I go to Easy Store. I can go over to, if it's a single product that I want to connect this particular menu to. So let's choose single product. And then once I've selected it, it's going to ask me select a product. Then I can go to the store, and if I wanted to highlight a specific product, then I can just choose, I'm going to choose this one there. Now, where do I want this particular new menu to show? If you look on this right hand, you see main menu. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about creating additional types of menu, but I want to show you that based on what's already been created, since this is a quick start template that has everything already built in, you can connect this new Easy Store Special to the main menu. You don't want to change that. And I was going to ask you the sub menu. So if you want this to be part of another sub menu here, you can do that. So for example, let's go on the front end. If I wanted to have Easy Store to be part of, let's say, underneath categories, well, I can connect it to the categories. And to do so, I'm going to come right here where it says parent menu, and let's go to categories. I can click on categories. And then, of course, the status is publish. I don't want to choose when this start and when this finish. I'm going to leave it as that. And I also don't want to choose registered or guest or any one of these. I want to keep this as public. The reason why I'm keeping it as public because I want everyone to have access to this information. And then for the page title, I can just leave it as blank. And if I wanted to, I can select an image, or let's say I didn't want to select an image. I just wanted the background color instead. So I'm just going to choose this color for now. Okay, so I'll have that. Those are the key things for now that you need to worry about. And then I want to click on save. So I've clicked on save, and now when I go over to the categories menu and I hover over, you notice that I see this Easy Store drop down menu. Let me go to the front end and I'm going to refresh this. Now, when you go to the front end of your website and you go over to the categories, now you see Easy Store Special. I'm going to click on that. And you're able to see here that this is the particular item that I connected this to. So if I wanted to showcase a specific item, that's a great way to be able to do that. Now let's go back here. Now I'm going to show you the other method, which is through the Joomla backend. So I'm going to click to X this out. So this is going to take us now back to the admin part of the site. Now the second way for you to add a menu item is from the back end. You go to menus and you can choose the main menu. Now before I get to that, I'm going to click where it says all menu items. The menu items section, this is where you can build as many different types of menus as you want. It gives you the flexibility. If you have a store that has, let's say, 20 different categories, it has 50 different categories, 100 different categories, you can build a menu system to add all of those items there. So let's go now to the main menu. From the main menu, if I wanted to, let's say, add a new item, right, I can go over to where it says new. When I click on new, I'm going to call this product special. Now the same thing as we did before, you go to where it says menu item type. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go to Easy Store. And I'm just going to go to products. And then from here, I can choose if I want to specify any specific product. So for this one, I'm going to select just the man. Okay, for the man, I can choose that. And the same thing as before, again, I'm going to leave this as public. I don't want to restrict this to anyone. I want everyone to come on the website and to get access to it. Now, when it's asking for the parent, I'm going to go over to where it says categories. I'm going to choose the categories again as the parent, or you can choose any other menu. It doesn't matter. And then that's pretty much the core thing. Okay, so now I'm going to click on, you can click save or save and close, or click this drop down. You can click save and new. So for this one, I'm going to click on save and close. Now we're going to take a look on the front end and see what we've got. So I'm going to refresh this. Now when you go over to the drop down menu here, you see easy store special, and then you see product special. So let's click on this. Now when you click on product special, it's going to highlight only the products from this specific category. So I've chosen that I want all the stuff from the men. So now it's going to show everything that's on the men. And that's the beautiful things too about the menus, is that menus gives you so much flexibility. Now I can go into advanced techniques in terms of the menus, but I'm going to keep this simple. So that's what you do if you want to be able to do any additional menus. You don't have to put it as a sub menu, as a drop down menu. You can have this as its own specific menu. So let's do that. So let's say that I decided to change my mind and I didn't want the easy store or any one of these to be a sub menu. So I can click on product special, the one I created. And then instead of having the parent item, I can just click on this X or just click this drop down, and I can see where it says no parent. I select no parent, and I'm going to click on save. When I click on save and go on the front end, I'm going to have to refresh this or reload it. Now you get this error message. The reason you get this error message is because this page is no longer connected to the category. So if you get something like that, don't panic. There's an easy way to fix it. So you click on the home, and it's going to take you to the home. Now you have this, and the reason why it looks like this, right, is because the space that this product special is taking is too much and it can't fit on this menu. Now there are several ways that you can change this. You can either just shorten this. So if you shorten this, instead of being product special because it's too long and it's affecting this whole section here. So to do that, let's go back, and I'm just going to put in special. Let's see if that make any changes. So now special, and I'm going to refresh this. So now, since I changed the word from product special to special, it's able to fit in this section. Now that's important because there are times when I see people have their website and they have long menu names, and it kind of distort that top part there. Okay, so put the menu, the core, always put your core menus at the very top, and then any other menus that's not as vital or that you don't want to highlight, you can create drop downs for it. It keeps your site looking clean and simple, and it makes it a lot easier for people to find what they're looking for. So, and then let's go back here. You want to click on, you can click on say on close. So that goes through all how to manage your menus, and I wanted to keep it simple. Now finally, you notice here where it says default. So if I wanted to change the default page, so for example, when you go to the home, this is what's the home page right now. If I wanted to change another page to be the default, all that I would have to do is just to come, let's go to this. So if I click on the store and I want to make this store the default page, this is the page that people see when they come on the website instead of the first one. What I can do now is go to the back end under the menus management, as I'm showing you here. You just click on set this as home. Now, when I click on this logo here, this is going to be the new home page. So before, this one here was the home page. But since I decided to make a change, when I click on this allure, it's going to change the home page to this. Let me go back to this one. It's the main one. And also, when you notice you have this item that's saying to check in, you see this lock here. You can just click on it and it's going to unlock it. Sometimes the reason you get the lock is if you have multiple people working on the site and they don't save and close before they leave a specific page, this can have the lock, and this can make it harder for other people that's editing the site to be able to get access to that. So all you got to do is just click on the lock, and it's just going to, check in. So that takes care of managing, customizing and tweaking your menus. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at editing this hero section. And as you can see, there's a gradient text at the back of this image. Well, if you want to replace that with your own, you certainly can do so. Now, when you log into the back end, you go to component, you go to SP page builder, and then you go to pages. There's two ways for you to edit this, right? If you notice, once you're logged in, you're going to see that you have this edit page. That's one of the ways you can be able to use to edit the front end, what you're looking at right now. Another way too would be once you've logged into the back end, you go to SP page builder, you go to pages, and you come right where it says front end editor. You can click to edit that. Now, if you have a lock on any one of your pages, all that you have to do is just click on that lock and it's going to remove it. So I can either click on front end editor, or if I'm already logged onto the front end of the website, I can click to edit. Now, if you click front end editor, if you're not logged into the front end of the website, it's going to ask you to log in first. So since I've already logged in, let's edit this. So I'm going to click on this edit page. Once you click on the edit page, it activates SP page builder, so you can scroll through and edit anything that you see on here. So now let's take this step by step. So let's work on this back image that you see right there. So what I want to show you now is I want to show you how to edit this header part. And we're going to start off by editing this gradient word that you see on the back end. Okay, so this is an HTML. Once you click on it, as I move my mouse, every section that I click on, let me X that off. As I move my mouse, you can see it's highlighted by the blue to let you know that you can edit that part, and pretty much everything on it can be edited. So let's go ahead and edit this. So what they've done is they've used what's called SVG HTML code to generate that word. But if you don't want to use that, I'm just going to delete it. Let me move this up first. So I am going to delete it, and we're going to put something else there. So I'm just going to delete that. And I'm going to come back here and I'll put in the word just shop. Now that I have the word shop, I'm going to capitalize that. So shop. I am going to scroll down. I can choose the type of font and I can choose the color. Let's say I want this shop to be white. So now I have the shop is white. But as you notice that the white is still very small, it's not as large, right? So before we change the size of it, I want to show you some cool things here. You can also be able to click to rotate, right? You can use some cool animations for that, but I want to keep that simple. So now what I want to do is I want to change the size of this word shop. I can use a different font, and I'm just going to put in, let's say, like 500. When I put in 500, you notice that you can see that word in the background now. I can put another 400 or 300 based on what I put. That's how it's going to be. So I'm going to keep it at 500. And you can play with this as much as you want. You can use the font weight. You can have it black, which is going to make it a little bit, darker. And you can even change, the colors for it as well. So if you wanted to change the background color, You wanted to change the font color, you can do all those things right here. But I want to keep that just simple right now. So that's how you're able to change that. And I'm going to X. And then next, let's take a look at how to change this images. So once you click on it again, it's going to show you where you can change it. Now this uses generative AI, which is a newer technology, but you would have to go through a process to set this up with OpenAI in order for you to generate it. So I'm just going to keep this simple for now and not, go through that. But if you have any image that you want to replace this with, you can certainly do so. If I click on clear, then it's going to remove the image that was there before. And if there's something I wanted to add, I can click on this, and I'm just going to grab this one and just click on select. And now it's added that image that I chose. So if you have graphics that you want to use, you can use any graphics for that. But it's very simple for you to add an image, and you can mess with the width, and you can change it. The height, you can adjust it, and it's very simple to do so. So you change the height. And next, we want to take a look at, this right here. So you click on it again, and then you can be able to choose where you get the video from. So if you have a video that you want to download, and you can integrate that video right there. It's just the same process. You click on clear, and then you go to upload. And then you can choose wherever you have the video that you've already, downloaded and then uploaded to your site. So you click on insert. And then whatever video that you have, that's what's going to show. And then you can loop it, or you can just leave it as it is. So if I take that loop off, and you can also have it muted, so it's not going to keep looping over and over again, right? So next, we want to take a look at, this, the pop over. So when you click on H pop over, this is to let people know that, okay, this item here, you can do more with it. So you click on the pop over, and then you can be able to change the style. It's connected to this dress. So let's go on the front end. Let me show you how that works so it can make a little more sense. So I'm going to go here so we can take a look at this pop over. So when you click on this, you notice you see this dress with the price, and you can click on details. Wherever you click, it gives you pops up something for you to see. So you can change what those are. When you click on this individual ones, you can activate what those popovers are, right? So you scroll down. Let's take this one for example. So I'm going to click on this one, and the popover that I have is this black dress. So let's go on the front end. When you click on this one here, this is this black dress that you have. So if you wanted to change it, you click to edit. And then if I want to change this black dress, I can just click clear, and I can choose, let's say I wanted to have a different image. I'm just going to choose that right there, and then click on insert. Now, of course, when I click on save, then it's going to replace that image with the new one that I chose. And that's how you do too for these here. You can click to edit. Let's go on the front end. When I click on this, this is what we have. So we can do the same process for the back end, which is this, the lady right here, to edit this popovers, and the same thing too for these. So that's going to take, take care of this top section. Let's go over here. I'm going to click this, X that off. And if I wanted to change where it says summer, new collection is here. On the front end, where it says new collection is here, I can click on that spot, and I'll just have to change this text. Okay, you can change this text to buy now or new collection or whatever you want it to say. And then where it says summer spring, if you go on the front end, this summer and the spring, this is where you can change those words. If you want it to be winter, winter, and let's say fall, you can do that as well. So it's going to say winter and fall. Let me X that off. And the beautiful thing too is I can move this menu wherever I need it to be. You can't see it right now because I haven't clicked on save. But the goal of it is I want to show you how you can edit this, and then you can go and edit whatever you need to edit. And then finally, for this header section here, when there's collections, we want to be able to make some changes to that. So we're going to click on it, and then we can change the word from explore collections to whatever you want it to say. You can do that. Then you can choose your alignment. You can choose the link. So if you click here, it's going to ask you where do you want to link this item to. You can choose the URL that you want this to go to. This can be to another page on the website, right? So you click on it, it's going to take you to another page on the website. They've linked it to the store, and you can add no follow, open a new tab. So if you use a new tab, when someone clicks on it, it's going to open up in a new tab instead of using that tab. You can also connect this to a particular page, right? They connected this to the shop page. So this takes care of how to, let's go back to the front end. This takes care of how you're able to change this header section. So at this point, you should be able to replace these images with your own. You can replace this video and this popovers. You should be able to replace the items from those popovers with your own images. And the spring, the summer, and the new collection, edit collection, you should be able to do that as well. Now, if you wanted to, let's come back here. So let's say that you wanted to change the background. I'm going to click on this. If I wanted to change this background, if I didn't like that background, right, I can click to go to, right now it's a gradient, but I can go to a single color and I can choose whatever color that I want to be replace that background with, right? So if I wanted to do an image instead, I can click here and then I can choose an image, or I can generate one. So if I click it to choose an image, I can choose any one of these to put it as the background image. So now that's the background image. If I want to go back to a gradient, I can utilize the gradient, or if I wanted to do a video, I can use a YouTube video or a Vimeo video to put on the background. Let's see how that looks with the video. So once you have the URL from YouTube or Vimeo, you can be able to put that there. And as you can see, I have a video now in the background. So it's not just the text. So I can switch from gradient. It goes back to the gradient. I can go to an image. I can go to a color, or I can just go to just nothing there, and it's going to be just a plain white. So it's up to you to choose what you want for the background. If you want a gradient, image, video, that's your choice. But at this stage, you should be able to edit this top section. In the previous video, you learned how to edit this header section. The text, the images, the background, the video. Now I want to show you how to do the same thing with this section here. Okay, so I want to edit this. I'm going to click on the word. Now I can just delete, I can edit that real time, or I'm going to move that up, or I can also come and scroll down here where it says jackets. I can say I wanted to call this like coats. So it's going to change the name from jackets to coats. And this is where you can edit some of the other things. Where it says shop the look, you can change that label to, let's say, shop right now. So when you come back over this, instead of saying shop, the loop or whatever is set, it can say shop right now. And you can change the font sizes. You can use the style for primary. You can use the secondary. So this is what a secondary looks like for the buttons. And you can use a success. That's what that looks like. I'm just going to put that just shop now. So now you have to shop now. And there are a lot of different tweaks that you can be able to do. You can replace the icon. Right now you see this arrow. If you wanted to replace the icon, you just have to delete this and you can choose a different icon to replace that with. I'm just going to pick anything just to demonstrate to you. So let's go with this one right here. So now we've chosen that icon for that. right? So it looks different from these. And you can choose if you want it to be flat, if you want it to be round. What I recommend is that as you're going through these, then feel free to just, change different things and, see the style, the look that you're going for, because that's the only that you're going to, give it that specific unique look for your store. And then you go over to the style. You can choose the color for the text, right? The text right now it's black, but if I wanted to say choose something else, let's just go with a bright color for red. So now you see that the link is shown red. You can put the hover. If I want the hover to be something else, I'm going to choose that. So now when I hover over it, it's shown green. Those are just the cool things you can do. And you can do this for each individual one to give it a different type of look. And that's how you're able to edit this section to, change, whether it's the image or if you wanted to change the words that are part of it. In this lesson, I want to quickly show you how to edit this message at the very top. Let's say you wanted to change what it's saying right here. So you go to the back end, you go to system, and then you go to site modules. And then this is where you see the top bar, the carousel. So I'm going to click on this. This is going to allow you to change the messages that you see there. So to do that, you can click on edit with front end editor. And then once you do, you click on that empty spot. Now it's going to show you all the different messages. So if you wanted to change the wording for these, you can come and click to edit. Instead of saying save 20%, you can put in save 50% or whatever. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can add more or you can remove the ones that you don't need. So as you scroll through this, it shows you all the different messages that's on the back end. In this lesson, I want to show you now how to edit the rest of your home page. Okay, so we talked about editing this hero section, this popover. We did this part here. Now, once you understand how to edit this template, you can literally go to Joomla. Let's go over there right now. You can go to joomla.com once you have your membership or you have a subscription plan, and you can buy any template and use the system that I'm going to show you here. So let's go to Joomla templates and go to e-commerce. You can buy any one of these templates, or you can download any one of these and edit them. The beautiful thing about it is once you understand the core concepts that you're learning here, you can apply that to any of the templates that they have, okay? So now let's go back and we're going to finish editing this home page. So let me X that out. I'm going to open up a new tab. All right, so this is the tab here. So now let's go back to editing this. So these are all the different products. As I showed you before where the products are, right? You see you can be able to, if you wanted to change this, right? So you click over this 3 dots. If you notice the 3 dots, this is where you can edit. So let's say that I wanted to make some changes, go to the 3 dots. This is going to tell you the source. It's saying that you want to showcase the latest, or if you want to have a section where you showcase the featured items or the best selling or on sale. If you have sales going on and you want to highlight that on the website, then you can use this on sale. You can choose the categories that you want to focus on as well. So right now it's showing all categories. You can have specific categories that you want to highlight, but in this case it's showing all categories. Again, that's for you to change if you want to. And then you notice here it says the grid columns. Right now it's showing 4. I'm going to move this over right this way. Come back and click here. So right now it's showing 4. If I wanted it to be a little bit more, I can click and it's going to show 5. If I want it to be a little more, I can go the maximum is 6. So if I put 6, when I go on the front end, you're going to see 6. So instead of seeing the 4 as you do right over here, you're going to see 6. So let's go back, or you can put it to 2. It's going to show just 2. Again, that flexibility is up to you. And then the gaps is just pretty much the gaps in between. So it's at 30. I can do 40. When I do 40, you notice that it spreads it out a little bit more. If I do 80, it makes it a little bit more space. If I do less than 80, brings it a little closer. So you can adjust this based on how you want it. And then for the row gaps, it's at 40. I can be able to do that, and it's going to adjust the space between the product. So I'm going to keep everything at 40 now, but that's how you can be able to change that. I'm going to keep that at 40. And then you can set the limit as well, how many number of products you want. You can set it to 4. 24 is going to add to that, but let's just keep that at 4. And you notice it has the category names already connected to it. And you can choose if you want to specify a specific category. And then if you wanted to change, let me X off. If you wanted to change this section here, you just click on it and you can edit it. The last one, or whatever you want that to say. For the e-commerce trend, you can do the same thing, edit the name right there. So now let's go over the bottom a little more. And the same thing applies for all these sections. Once you understand the concept of editing this, then it becomes a lot easier for you to edit anything. So I can change that spring summer look to something else. And I can also change, let me X this off. I can click on this 3 dots. I can click the option. I can change the columns, or I can just click on this product. And again, you see the image here. I can replace this, click to clear, and replace it with something else. So you click here and you can replace the images with your own. You can also click on the call out, the popover. There's the image for the popover. So let's go to the front end. If I click on this, you notice that it's showing this particular image. You can change that. When you click on that, then you can change whatever image that you want to replace that with. And let's continue to scroll down. So again, it's just repetitive. They just did the same thing. So as you scroll down in this section here, they just clone it, right? You can just clone it to the next section. And you're probably wondering, well, how are you able to do that? Well, you can just click on this icon right here, and you can click to duplicate. So if I click duplicate, it's going to duplicate that section. So now instead of having just one, I have 2 of those sections. So there we go. Okay. So now I have 2. And scroll down. So it's the same thing. I've duplicated that entire thing. If I didn't want that, I can just click to undo. And it's going to undo that. And then you have the testimonial section. You can click here. These are the testimonials. You notice that it has this 3 dots. It's 1, 2, 3. So when you click on that, it's going to show you the next testimonial. I'm going to click X, and you click on this other dot, and it's going to show you that as well. You can add more, or you can edit the existing ones. This is the first one here. I click to edit, and this is the content of that. I can upload an image to be connected to this testimonial. So let's say I just want to put this for example, just to show you. Click insert. So now I have an image that's connected to X that off. So now you see the image right at the very top. If you go to these don't have any image. Let me X that off right here. But if you go back to the first one, you notice, I'm going to move this out the way, like right over here. You're going to notice you see this image. Let's go to the next one. No image at the bottom. So you can click to edit, and you can choose an image if you want to connect it to that. And then with this section here, if you wanted to change this image or delete it, it's up to you. Again, you can choose to edit parts of the home page or anywhere, or you can choose to, to leave it. But if you wanted to edit this, you click on this icon and then you go to edit. And this is where, let me move this up. This is where you can again change this image. If I wanted to, let's say, clear it, and I didn't want to use that, I can go with a gradient color. Now it's going to show that gradient color. I can go with a video. I've showed you how to do that before, or you can pretty much choose anything that you want for that. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then this section here, you click on it to just edit 50%. We can change this to, let's say, 90%. Now it's going to show 90, and you can edit. Let's go over to the style. You can use a color. You can use a gradient, right? It's going to change the background for this to a gradient, or you can just use one, a specific color for this one. Let's change this color from that to, I'm just going to choose like, so now the mouse over it, it gives it a different color. Now for the advanced, you don't have to worry much about the advanced, but if you do want to hide this particular section here so that it doesn't show up on, let's say, a laptop, you can do that. Now you notice at the top here you have different versions that you can be able to edit. So if you want to see how the website looks on different devices, this is where you can be able to come in and you click on each one. So if you click on the landscape, it shows you that. You click on the tablet, mobile landscape, is going to show you how it's going to look, so you can make all the necessary adjustments for it. So if you want to hide a specific section on a specific device, you can click that here. And also, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to hide a certain thing so that just members of your website have access to it, or the registered users, you can choose to register. If you choose to register, whatever section that you choose to register, the general public, in other words, anyone that doesn't have an account on your website, won't be able to see just that specific section, not the whole website, but just that section. So that comes in handy if you wanted to, get people to sign in, and once they sign in, then they can get a discounted code or something like that. You can do that as well. And again, this same process, just replicate what I covered earlier, and this the same thing right here too. And this has an email. So when you click on the email, which is one of the add-on on the form builder, you can be able to collect emails from this. So you can integrate whatever email system that you're using with this right here. So they've already given the ability to be able to build a simple email. So you can click edit. You can put the name. And that's part of the email. And you scroll down. This is just more text that you can be able to edit as well. There's the client's add-on. And you can choose to edit each one. There's 4 of them, so you can choose to kind of go through here and edit the one that you want. And if you have it as a carousel, it's going to show like that. So I'm just going to not have it as a carousel. And then this is just specific CSS filters that they put. If you didn't want this section, you can click right here and then just click to delete it. You click delete, and that section is going to be gone. In this lesson, I want to show you how to change the off-canvas logo. So you notice you have this logo right there. If you want to change that, you go from the back end of your Joomla site, you go to home, or you can just go to where it says system, and then you want to find site modules, and then locate where it says off canvas logo. You click on this and then use edit with front end editor. So that's the logo right there. You click on here, and let's say I want to change some, and click on clear. Then I can click to choose the image that I want to use. Right, you can go through any one of these. Let's say I want to use the PayPal or use the GPay. Any one that you want to use, you can click insert, So now that's the new logo that's going to show on the front end. So let me just save this so you can see. Click save, and I'm going to reload this. So now when I click on there, you see we've just replaced that off canvas logo. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to edit the footer of the website. So at this stage, you should be able to edit just about everything on the site. In the next lesson, we're going to take a look at editing the pages, but let's go down to the footer of the website. If you want to edit this footer section here, you can do so and change the content and also edit, the email, this country, region, all this stuff here. So let's go on the back end. From your Joomla back end, right, so let's go back to the dashboard. This is your command center or control center. You want to go over where it says system. And from the system, you want to go to site modules. From the site modules, you want to click where it says bottom section. You have two options here, edit with backend editor. We don't want to do that, or just click on edit with front end editor. Now, if you're not logged in, it's going to ask you to log in. So just log into the front end. But if you're already logged in, it's going to redirect you to this. So let's scroll to the bottom. Let's scroll. So now you have this part. Okay. When you click on it, you're going to see that it has all the items. Let me go back here. It has all the items, the coats, dresses, jackets, and all that stuff. So when you come over here, this is where all that stuff is located. It's up to you now if you wanted to change, let's say from coats, or if you want to link this somewhere else, you can put a link, you can put an icon with it. So let me just show you how that looks. So I'm just going to grab any icon here with this just to show you, and then click apply. And then we want to click on, let me go back here. Is this an active item? No. So let's click on save and let's reload this. So once you reload it, you notice that the icon is with this text. So you can add icons if you want to. You can relink them anywhere. You can change anything that you want on there. So now let's go over with the email. You click on here. It's going to pull up the email section. Now I already covered this before, but I want to refresh your memory again. So with this here, you can use any type of mail system, to integrate it with this. So if you're using like a MailChimp or something like that, you can get the form that you can get the embed code from them, and then you can put it on here and utilize this. So it's a simple mail system, and I'm not going to go too deep into the integrations for that, but something like this should definitely get you started on the right foot. And then you have the style if you wanted to change the colors, if you wanted to change the patterns, you can do so. And then you have the regions section here. It's showing you the different regions that they have. And you can click here, and then it's going to pull this up. You can also edit how that works, horizontal or vertical. And where it says shop online pages, subscribe to our newsletter, you can change those. If you mouse over and you go at the top here, you can put your mouse and click on there. You see pages, which is the same thing as what you're seeing at the footer. And if you wanted to change this image, you certainly can into something else. You can click on this. You can see the options for that row. But again, it's simple for you to make any changes to it. And I've already covered, how to modify. You can use the styling options to change the text colors. You can remove this image and replace it with your own, used by clicking in the area. And then you go to the general section, and then you can delete this and replace that with anything that you like to replace it with. So this covers the footer section. It's simple and it's easy for you to, edit. In this lesson, I want to show you how to add items to the wish list. One of the beautiful things about having an e-commerce website is your ability to add items to the wish list. So let's say that a customer or a visitor wants to add an item to the wish list that they can purchase later on. Once they have an account on your site, they can choose any item. So for example, I'm going to click on this right here. Now I can click on the link to show me the product, or I can also just click here to get a preview of it, and I can go to details. You notice there's an add to wish list link at the bottom or in this section of all the pages. All the products have this. So I click on add to wish list, and then it's going to change to added to wish list. So I'm going to add a few more items to the wish list. Let's go back here, and I wanted to add other things. So I wanted to add this right here. So I'm going to click to add to wish list. Once I've added those items to wish list, how do I locate them? Once you've added items to your wish list, you'd have to be logged in order for you to see what those items are. So once someone is logged in, you can hover over your name, and then you go to where it says wish list. Now these are the 2 items that I've added to my wish list. I can always, complete my purchase later. This is great because there are times when people are shopping on your site and maybe they're not ready to purchase those particular items yet, but they can continue to build a wish list that they can later on come back to complete that purchase. So this makes it a lot easier and simple for you to do that. So once they've added items to their wish list and they're ready to check out at their appropriate time for them, they can just click on the item, and then they can just go to add to cart, and they're going to get this, and then they can visit the cart, or they can go to checkout. In this lesson, we want to wrap up now, and I want to show you how to edit the pages of your site. So let's say that you've purchased this template or any other Joomla template from Joomla or any other provider, but more specifically from Joomla, and you want to edit it. This is how you edit the menu pages. So there's 2 ways to do so. Now I have the other video, the other lesson that I showed you how to edit from the Helix Ultimate backend. Now I'm going to show you how to edit it, from the front end. So when you're logged into the front end of your website, you're going to notice that you have this edit page. If you want to edit any page, let's say I want to edit the contact page, I'm going to click on it. Once I get there, I'll notice that there's an edit page. Anytime that you see this edit page, that means that particular page was created with Page Builder. So I'm going to click edit page. Once that's activated, then I can just mouse over on any section to change. So when I click on there, you see the name, the email, the message. I can put in any information that I want. I can scroll down. I can change the maps. I can scroll down, and I've already covered how to change the footer. So with the contact page, I can click right there. I can either just change it on the screen, or I can use, this section here to do so. The same thing too with this bottom section. I could also link this to anywhere, to a new tab, to a menu. I can link it to a particular page. I can choose where I want that to go, right? So this is how you edit the contact page. And the same thing works too for any of the other pages. I'm going to click on preview here. Once you click on preview, you're able to see any changes that were made. Now let's say I want to edit the customer profile. I'm going to click customer profile. And this is going to take me to where the customers can edit their information. So this is a simple account profile that they can edit their names, their username. This is where they can come in to make changes. Has their shipping address. If they have a billing address, it's going to show up there as well. And they can also check their orders if they have any orders. And next, let's go over to the about. You want to edit the about. You can come and click to edit. Once you click on edit, you move your mouse wherever you want to edit, and you can click on there. You can edit directly on the page, or this pop-up is going to show, and you can edit on there. Let's scroll down. Same thing for this. You can click here to edit it. The tops, you can click. Wherever you click, you have the ability to edit. And this is such a great feature because it allows you to do anything. If you want to replace this image, you just click on clear. You can upload your own, or if you don't want an image there, so I'm just going to come right here. I'm just going to take these images off just to show you. Let me move this over, drag it over on this side. I'm going to clear these. So now we'll have this section, but we don't have any images on there. If you like that, you can do that as well. The same thing too for this section. As you move your mouse over and you see this blue highlights, it's letting you know that you can edit that.